Welcome to the Franklin County NC Podcast. I'm James Hicks, and this is a podcast about Franklin County, North Carolina. On our broadcast, we hope you'll learn a few things that you didn't know about Franklin County, North Carolina, plus some helpful tips for you in your daily lives. So today we have a special episode here. I have two guests. First, someone who is no stranger to the podcast, the Assistant County Manager, Will Doerfer, but I'm also joined by Lance Williams. So welcome onto the broadcast, Lance and Will. How are you guys doing?
We're good today. Yeah, it's been a nice day.
So this is a very different type of podcast episode for us. Usually we're very thematic and things, but we're kind of talking about something that you got to do today and throughout this week of shadowing a local government generalist. That's right. As Will likes to call himself, a generalist, but getting to shadow someone who works in local government. And from what I understand, you guys have been doing some different things, and so Lance can see, and it's giving an opportunity for Will to talk more about what things are going on in the county, which is great because I love that, because we love to ask those questions and broadcast those. So we've heard a lot about Will in the past on our episode for the National Opioid Settlement, but I'm going to go over to Lance and ask you where we start this. So how long have you been in Franklin County?
I've been here for 18 years, and that's the 18 years I've been alive.
That's what I was thinking. So, and I guess I should have backed up a little bit on this. Part of this shadowing is you are a senior at
Bunn High School.
Okay. And did you do this shadowing as a requirement for anything, or just kind of general knowledge?
Nope, I just decided by myself I want to come and explore.
Okay, learn more about your local government, I guess.
Absolutely.
Okay. So is there any particular thing about local government that you particularly were interested in, or something that drew you here?
I must say my interest has fallen on like rural development and that types of things, but I must admit I'm not really sure what I meant by saying that. So I really wanted to explore what opportunities are there in local government to focus in rural development. And what I've learned is that there are a lot of different avenues to look at that.
Yep. And this is a great county. We were talking before the podcast just about Franklin County, the fourth fastest growing county in North Carolina, and a lot of different metrics that kind of make this county transitioning a little bit. And how do those areas develop a little bit from our traditional or agricultural roots that we still cherish here, and it's part of our economy, but also welcoming some new folks into the county, and some new different kind of businesses and things like that. So you're a senior in high school at Bunn. What's the next thing for you after you graduate?
I am definitely planning on attending NC State University. I haven't quite chosen a major, but something in the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences, probably agribusiness, is what I'm leaning towards, because I think it really focuses on what my interests are.
Okay, Will hasn't talked you into any types of, I don't know, what would you take to be a government generalist? I mean, I guess political science is what would come to mind. That's going to be your government. You're a hard and fast, hardcore government person.
So my advice to Lance was to supplement what he feels would be his lack of knowledge in his career interest field. So we've talked to several department heads, and all of them had different paths to local government. Some started, I think we had a department head today talk about starting out in geography, and now they're in economic development, airport operations. There's no one path. The best advice is to find what you love to do, pursue that, and as long as you get to where you are in a job that you care about, you're going to be all right.
And I can attest to that because, as we were talking about with my degree, so what do you do if you're an introvert who doesn't like talking in front of people? You go get a degree in speech communications. And then if you're a little bit nervous about getting out and talking to random strangers, go be a reporter. Cold calling and walking up to someone off the street and just engaging them in a conversation to try to get a quote out of them. You'll learn real fast to get over those fears.
That's growth mindset. So, challenging yourself, pushing yourself, filling in your gaps, and continuing to learn and grow. That's how you get ahead.
And I would say too is take your maybe weaknesses and turn them into strengths, and then that turns around and all that. Before we get too far away from it, I know, Lance, if anybody who's listening has paid attention to anything in Franklin County government, they should recognize your name because you've been around a little bit. You've appeared at a Franklin County Board of Commissioners meeting, and you hold a position of significance in some of the agricultural areas for young people. So what is all that? Remind us what that is.
So since I was 7 years old, I have been involved greatly with 4-H, which is funded through the Cooperative Extension Services. And biggest to me is that this year I'm serving as the state 4-H vice president, which has just given me so many avenues to tell people about all the great things that are provided by 4-H. And like you're mentioning, I'll talk about the Youth Voice program that lets people be aware of local government and allow you to go and speak at a Board of Commissioners meeting and attend their meeting at the NCACC conference. And that was just so great to get to experience that.
Yeah. And your presence here, I know when I had found out about it, I thought, wow, this is the maybe a little bit of a kickoff of some things that are coming down the road for Franklin County. As far as involving people and learning more about county government. We're going to be developing a Citizens Academy that'll be coming soon down the stretch, and some other things for people to get involved to really learn about sort of the inner workings of county government that you don't see from watching the news or doing whatever. Sometimes there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes to make the county government run. So you've been doing this all week with Will. And so what are some of the things that you have done so far? I know we're kind of recording this not toward the end of that week, so there's a little bit more to come, but what have you done already this week?
A big highlight was this morning when I got to go to a soil and water board meeting, and although I was really close with Cooperative Extension, that was a side that I had no idea existed with it, and seeing the collaboration and talking about important environmental issues in the county was super cool to see. And then also today I was able to meet the library director, the brand new Franklin County Library Director, and that was very insightful, going to the Bunn Library right in my backyard and learning new things about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And I saw you were there at the Board of Commissioners meeting on Tuesday. Again, you've been there before, so you're almost a regular, like some of us that attend. But let's see what else you have some things planned for tomorrow still.
Yeah. So highlight of tomorrow, we'll be visiting our under construction rehabilitation wastewater treatment plant in Franklinton. And that treatment plant was awarded a $11 million and some change grant to increase efficiencies and improve construction of the basins. So that's a huge project for the county. It drew the visit of the NCDEQ Secretary Elizabeth Beiser, the EPA Administrator Michael Regan, and the USDA Secretary Mr. Vilsack.
Tom Vilsack, yes. Okay. Secretary of Agriculture.
I got all those names right.
So you have cabinet level, United States government cabinet level officials coming to visit this facility in, I believe it was April of last year.
That's right. Now Lance is going to go visit this facility. Not to draw any correlation or anything. Bright future for this young man, but I'm looking forward to that. A lot of people don't understand how much goes into treating the wastewater in the county. One thing that wasn't even intentional, but a theme that we seem to have noticed in every department is how important customer service is. Pretty much everybody has some sort of public-facing operation, and because by virtue of being government, often we have to deal with people who are not happy with us, and you still have to be professional and accommodating to the best of your ability, and that takes really strong customer service skills. See, another thing we have found, I've been able to weave economic development into most of the departments. Really, even the tax collectors, we couldn't do anything we do without the tax collectors doing their job. Planning, economic development, airport is a huge aspect. Today, Bo told us that the airport contributes $28 million to the local economy. So, and the fact that Lance is interested in economic and rural development, there's no wrong path going forward. I think any way that we can serve our rural communities falls into that category. So.
Okay. Now it's for surprise question time. So, Lance, is there anything maybe that you have seen or experienced this week that maybe surprised you or you weren't expecting to see kind of in shadowing?
I think oftentimes I thought that local government meant small government, but that really was shattered, and this is a giant spider web of different people. I met with an HR employee today, and they said there are over 600 employees here in Franklin County, and I would have never known that before meeting these people, and that has been a big surprise to me, the scale.
Mm-hmm. Growing county, and I don't know if she gave you the numbers of what they were maybe 10, 20 years ago, and how as we've grown, and I talk to new employees about this too, as we grow as a county and we have more and more people in this county, we have to have the people to serve those people, in various capacities. You have to have each department starts to grow a little bit more to provide those services. And we still are growing, still got plenty of opportunities. So if anybody's listening out here and wants to be a part of this growing operation that we have here in Franklin County, check out our website and go to career opportunities. A lot of things, exciting things happening over there. And we have one of the things that impressed me with this county is there's a lot of people who want to come here and work. We usually have a new hire class every 2 weeks, and most of the time there's still several people. I mean, in every class, I don't get those emails very often where they say, "Oh, we got to cancel," unless it's something come up and they just have to reschedule it or something. But we have the numbers of people wanting to come and be a part of this. So if you're out there, check out those openings. There's a lot of different and across diverse departments and things like that.
And I would add to that local government is really where you get to make an impact, but also experience the impact. So if you're living and working in the community, the impacts that you have directly affect your neighbors, your friends, you, and you get to see that. It's not the federal government. It may take years, or you may never see an impact of something that you do, and it's such a huge bureaucracy. The local government is really where you get to make those impacts and also experience them.
Is that your pitch for working for local government?
That is my pitch.
Okay, because that was my next question. I was going to pivot over to you for that. Is why would you want to work in local government? What is I'll do this a little bit more tailored here, is what is your advice to Lance, who is looking into sort of rural development and more of starting out at least in the agricultural realm? What is your advice for him to be successful and to going and maybe coming back to Franklin County or going to another county and making that county successful in what he's doing?
Yeah, I think what I said earlier about finding something that you care about and pursuing that's one thing. That's good general advice, but really keeping your eyes open. Don't get too narrow. Take advantage of opportunities as they're presented. Sometimes you have to take a left when you weren't expecting to, and sometimes that's okay. And I think I tell my son this, who's going to be starting high school soon, which I cannot believe it. It's okay to fail. If you take a wrong turn and go down a wrong path, that's okay. That's experience. That's learning. Another thing I told him was even a job in retail, or I mentioned a certain cookie store. Even a job in retail or customer service gives you those skills that you really need in local government to be able to deal with professionally with the public. It's not no sense in throwing shade at those types of jobs that can also develop your skills into marketable skills in this industry. So
yeah, and going back to what you said earlier, Lance, is you didn't know kind of like the scope of all of government does, and there's so many different places that people can fit into government. And we have 26 departments. Mm-hmm. We're up to 26 now. So we have 26 departments, several other attached things. There's so many different places for people to really find a spot to make a career out of. Do you here's something getting at some ideas from youth, we'll say. I'll ask Lance. We've been giving you advice, and people have been giving you advice. I'm going to turn it over to you. What advice do you give Franklin County?
I think that anybody in government needs to constantly listen to the people they're serving, especially the young population and youth. There are hundreds of peoples in the public schools here and hundreds of other kids more, and we are the future of Franklin County, and we're going to be the ones that want to stay. I think no longer Franklin County is that place where success is defined by getting out. I think we're going to be here to stay, and I'm very excited, so keep that in mind for the future of Franklin County and listening to us.
That's very good advice, and I'm like I said, going back to this whole thing that you're doing here with the shadowing, is it's sort of ignited in I don't know, my mind and some different possibilities of getting youth more involved in government and getting them more exposed to government. And I know we've talked about that on a staff level of trying to figure out how to make that, happen and kind of really flesh that out in some different programs. So that is on the horizon, because we do have an opportunity to keep people here by, getting them connected and showing them kind of what we have to offer here, because you could live here all your life and not know about some of the things that are here that are for you. So
spent some time in the car with Lance today, and we did get an opportunity to talk about some things that could draw teens into our library, specifically since we visited the library today. And he had some really good advice, and I think we can talk to our library director about that and see how we can make some of that stuff happen. Again, we've got a new library director, Michelle, and she's got some really good experience. She's been a children's librarian, an adult librarian, and a director of a branch. So really looking forward to see what kind of ideas she can bring. And I think with some of Lance's advice, we can make some stuff happen. So
yeah, and one of the good things here is, if you've been paying attention out there, that you can look at it, and I'm hoping this will be the case. Is Lance has been doing a lot of really good things. Has been successful in 4-H world and getting elected to statewide positions and things like that. And hopefully, since you've been around and more people are hearing about you and knowing sort of what you're doing, is maybe for some younger our youth out there, some of the younger ones are looking and saying, I could be the next Lance Williams. This might be I want to be the Lance Williams here, and some of the groups, some of the people that are behind you, that you're kind of getting an opportunity to kind of lead the way for them to say, you can make a difference, and you just keep working at it. You might have some people out there that you got a little mentorship to, maybe.
Absolutely, yes. Within 4-H, I love volunteering during the summer intern program. Dozens of kids participate, and as someone who participated and had role models in those positions, and now I am that role model, I certainly feel good about that, and I certainly see a bright future from Franklin County with these young people.
Yep. And then you'll be taking it off, taking it down to Raleigh, to NC State, and starting, you could not starting over, but you could carry that success. So we'll hopefully we'll be seeing more out of you as you progress through your educational career and have some real impact when you go and be a part of those programs. So we'll be watching you.
Yep, and like I said, and like we've heard today a couple times, there's no one path to local government. If you need to veer off and get some experience somewhere else, we'll be here. We're set up to be here for the next 100 years and more. And so, if you find another interest there's no one right path to get here. So
Yep.
we'll be here.
We've been around here a little while, and you've been listening to the Butte County podcast. No, I'm just kidding. So, we'll be still progressing and doing some things. There's a lot of exciting things on the horizon. We wish you much success. Hopefully, you got some more stuff to do with Will this week, so hopefully everything is good and educational and informative. And then you'll be looking for that next thing to do for your career. And
I did tell Lance that he's our guinea pig for the Citizen Academy, or whatever we're going to call it.
Mm-hmm.
And so we'll be looking forward to some feedback and how we can make this productive.
And that's why
and scale it up.
When you mentioned this, I said we need to work a podcast episode into this, because this is a good thing to really get that ball rolling, to get it in people's minds to think about that. Okay. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Franklin County NC Podcast is produced by Franklin County as a public service to better inform and provide timely and relevant information. Tune in for more informative shows about what is happening in Franklin County. Subscribe to this podcast on your favorite podcast platform. Like or rate the podcast and share it with your friends and family. To find out more about Franklin County NC, go to our website at www.franklincountync.gov and sign up for our email newsletter while you are there. For all of us here at Franklin County, I'm James Hicks, and we'll talk to you soon.